So, dear students, we are continuing our discussion. We discussed the circular flow of income. Now, let's understand the economic sectors of an economy. We know that the economy is divided into four sectors: the household sector, the business sector, which we know as firms. The third and a very important sector is the government sector, and the fourth sector is the foreign sector. So, what do we mean by household sectors? Households are the main owners of factors of production. So, any factory, any firm, they would need land, labor, capital, and of course, we know entrepreneur. So, generally, before the factory comes into existence, there is somebody from the household who owns the land, somebody from the household who would be the labor, somebody from the household who would be interested to put in the money, that is capital. So, households are the main owners of factors of production. They sell the services of these factors to producers, those who are willing to produce anything. So, when they sell, what do they get? In return, they receive their income. They spend a large part of their income in purchasing goods and services. A household sector, they sell their land or labor or capital, they get the income in exchange. What do they do with that income? Right? They would purchase goods and services. For example, I have a land, I gave my land on rent to a candle manufacturing unit. I am receiving the income, but I am buying shoes, laptop, cups, plates, glasses, basically goods and services. I am paying the tuition fee for my children, so I am purchasing services from the producers. However, they save a part of their income. They also save a part of their income which they invest further, and they also pay taxes to the government out of their income. So, we know exactly what the household sector does. We are trying to correlate the circular flow of income. We are trying to relate how the expenditure of one organization leads to an income of other party. The expenditure of the business sector will become the income of the household sector. The expenditure of the household sector in purchasing goods and services will become income of the business sector. So, this is a correlation. Let's try and understand the business sector of the firms. So, business sectors means producers and firms. We use them interchangeably. What do the firms do? Firms hire the services of factors of production. From whom they hire? We already discussed. The household are the owners, so they hire from the households. What do they do by hiring the factor of production? They produce the commodities. For whom are they producing the commodities? The firm, business firm is ultimately producing the commodities for the household sector. So they produce and then they sell to the household. Other firms, if they are making something which acts as an intermediate product, so they will sell it to the other firm, or they will sell it to government, or they might export it to other countries. So a business firm A producer business firm will produce, but before producing, they will buy the factors of production from the household. They will produce the goods for the household. Only for the household? No. They will produce it for the household, for other business firms, for government, or they might even export it to other countries. So, firms are the principal buyers of factors of production, land, labor, capital, and main producers of commodities. So, they buy the factors from the household, produce the commodities for various players. Business sector comprises both private and government enterprise. So, I think we have understood in quite detail about the business sector or firms. Now, time has come to discuss about the government. So, government, generally we understand the general government. We exclude the government commercial enterprises. General government gets its income largely through taxes. So basically we are not discussing government firms. Okay. When we talk about government, generally government is into taxation. So when we discuss the point of view of the government, we are discussing from the taxes point of view. Taxes are imposed by the government. Taxes are imposed on households. Only on households? No, also on the business sector. How do they impose tax? We have two systems, direct tax and indirect tax. Today, most of the goods and services come under the GST regime, which is goods and services tax. If you buy a chocolate, GST is included. You are buying a chocolate, but tax amount goes to the government. You're buying a refrigerator, tax amount goes to the government. You're making an income, so you are supposed to give income tax to the government. So income tax is a direct tax, GST is an indirect tax. And government, if it needs to buy goods and services, they can buy from the producers. They can buy factor services from the households. Like the factor services was sold by the household to business sector, they can also sell it to government. Now the government uses these commodities and factor services in providing free services. Please, government also needs to procure chair for the police station. Okay. So government is providing free services like police services, education, medical facilities, sanitation facilities, judicial services to the people. Why are they doing it? To satisfy their collective wants. So it is the duty of the government. So government is doing its duty. The last sector is rest of the world. So different sectors of the economy, agricultural sector, industrial sector, service sector, different sectors of the economy have transactions not only with each other but also with foreign countries. We can call it rest of the world. How are they having relation with the foreign countries? By export and import. So this is a very simple thing. In the same way, factor services move across the border of a country, and the firms of this country may purchase some factor services from other countries. So basically, we can take services, we can go and do job abroad. So in order to study the circular flow of income in a very simplified manner, what are we trying to do? We are trying to study in a two sector model. We can study in a three sector model, or we can study in a four sector model. So we know the four sectors. Sector number one is household, then business firm, then government, and then rest of the world. So these are the four sectors. Now, circular flow of income. We understand the expenditure of one sector becomes the income of other sector. Now to make you understand, dear students, there is classification into 2 sector, 3 sector and 4 sector. So when we discuss of 2 sector, it is household and business sector. So these are the 2 sector we are going to discuss. When we discuss 3 sector, so basically it is household, business and the government, which means there is no connection with the outside world. So when we are not having any connection with the outside world, it is a closed economy model. We are not going to export, we are not going to import. So 3 sector model is a closed economy model. But when we include the export and import, when we include the rest of the world with our economy, it becomes an open economy model. Right now 2024, what do you think, dear students? Are we in a closed economy model or are we operating in an open economy model? Of course, sir, we are operating in an open economy model. These days, all the goods manufactured in any part of the world is available in any part of the world. So this is definitely an open economy model. So these 3 models of circular flow of income. So are you ready, dear students? Let us try and understand how the circular flow is maintained if we study sector by sector. So we start with the 2 sector model without savings and investment. 2 sector model without savings and investment. So it's going to be very interesting. So the basic essence of circular flow of income. We need to study circular flow of income. So a 2 sector model. Who are they? The households and the firms. Firms, they are the production unit. So we are imagining a hypothetical economy, dear friends, where there is no government. So it is an imaginary situation where only households and the production units exist. There is no government. And government is not there, so there is no taxes. There is no export. There is no import. So only the households and only the production units. So in such an economy, household sector owns all the factors of production. This is being repeated again and again. And again, this sector will sell the factor services to the firms and receive income from them in the form of wages, rent, interest, and profits. The money payments made by firms to households are cost expenditures for the firms. It is so simple. Again, we are repeating. The firm is incurring the expenditure, and that expenditure is treated as income in the hands of the household sector. Firms or the production units, what do? They need to produce something. How do they produce? They produce by using the factor inputs. What do they produce? They produce goods or services. Finally, these goods and services are sold to households. Household sector, do they get it for free? No, no, no. See, we took the factor services, we paid you for that. Hisab kitab barabar. Now we are selling you the final product, the goods and services. The firm is selling to the household. See, now you are buying my product, so you please give me the money. So the household sector pays for these goods in the form of money. And thereby firms receive money payments from the households. So there was a time when the firm paid to the household for the factor service, wages, rent, interest, profits. Now it is the time of the firm to collect the money from the household. So what they paid to the household, they are getting back from the household. The interaction of the firm and household take place in two set of markets. One market was the factor market, when the household was selling their factor services. The other market is the product market, when the firms are selling the products to the household. So basically it's two different market, dear friends. So factor markets and product markets. So in factor market, what is bought and sold? Sir, of course, factor services. Please try to understand, these are all technical words. I am trying to give you all the technical words. In factor markets, factor services are bought and sold. Similarly, in product markets, what are bought and sold? Of course, sir, goods and services. Goods and services are bought and sold in the product market. Now we need to understand the circular flow. So we understand how this is a circular flow. Households selling their factor services, and the same household buying the goods and services from the firms. They are selling the factor services to the firms, buying the product and services from the firms. Now it cannot be the same firm. They might sell to firm X, but they might buy goods from firm B and C. So this circular flow is better understood by referring to figure 1. So please, dear students, open your textbook, check the figure 1. It is very clearly in dotted lines and in plain lines. It's all the same thing is being diagrammatically represented, where there is a flow of factor services from households to firm, and there is a flow of goods and services from firms to household. Then there is factor payments from firms to households, and then there is payment of goods and services from household to firms. So this is a very easy thing, though I am taking a lot of time trying to give you those technical words so that you get full marks when you write in your examination. So this is the real flow. This is the real flow. The households pay for these goods and services with money, which creates money flow, indicated by a dashed arrow. Note that flow of goods and services from firm to household give rise to money flow in the opposite direction from household to firms. So basically, when goods are given by firms to household, of course they will give the money. So money flows from household to firms. So basically it is so easy in the two sector model. If household, now dear students, little attention is needed. If households spend all their income on buying consumer goods produced by the firms, please, we are discussing a theoretical situation, and firms distribute all the money collected from the sale of their product to households as factor incomes. Basically what they're trying to say is, let's say household, the total household received 100 rupees from the firm as factor payments, and now the firm is also receiving all the 100 rupees by selling the products. So 100 rupees the firm gave to household, now the same 100 rupees is coming back to the firms from the household. Total household 100 rupees, total firms 100 rupees. So total households received in total 100 rupees, total firms received in 100 rupees from the various households. Okay. So all the money collected from the sale of the products to household as factor income, then the circular income will remain constant, because 100 is equal to 100. It is constant. As the households spend all their incomes on purchase of goods and services from the firms, total money receipts of the firms will be equal to total income of the household. Similarly, total income of the household is equal to total expenditure of the firms. Everything received by household will be passed on to firms, and everything received by firm would be passed back to the household. The circular flow of income will continue to operate at unchanged level. The level is not changing because it is total 100 and it is total 100. So the circular is on going on and on and on and on the scale of 100 only. In other words, there would be equilibrium in the circular flow of income. So if they are asking you how equilibrium is achieved, so you need to maintain that 100 was received from household by the firm and the same 100 was received by firm by the household. So it is a state of equilibrium. Thus, in the simplified two sector model, we can have the following equations. The total production of goods and services by the firm is equal to total consumption of goods and services by the household. Hence, 100 is equal to 100. The factor incomes of the household is equal to the factor payments by the firm. So, it's all equating. Income of the firm is equal to expenditure of the household. So, these three simple points are very easy to understand. So, here we studied the two sector model without savings and investment. Since there were no saving, the household could spend the entire amount on the products manufactured by the firm. Now we need to study the same thing, but this model will have savings. So if it is savings, so it is very easy to understand. If 100 rupees was received and I have to save 25 rupees, so I will give back only 75 rupees to the firm. I received 100 but I want to save 25. So in that case, the money going back from my household to the firm will be 75 rupees and not 100 rupees. So now we had assumed that the household spends entire income on goods produced by the firms, and we had also assumed that firms distribute all the receipts to the household. Okay, it's like the hen and the egg. If we say that the household received 100 rupees, we are saving 25 rupees, sending back 75 rupees. Now 75 rupees if the firm received, will they give the entire 75 back or will they keep something for themselves? So, but in reality, households do not spend all the income on consumption. This is a real situation. Instead, they save part of their income. Why do they need to save? Or they need to save for old age, or if you get sick, you need to keep some reserve money with you for future expenditure. You might plan for your daughter's marriage or your children's marriage or your 25th anniversary. So some saving is obviously done by every household. A part of the income which is not spent by household on consumer goods and services is called saving. I think we are going very slow. You are able to follow everything. That is the whole idea. Concept should be very, very strong. Similarly, firms may not distribute all their receipts to households as factor income. Rather, they may save a part of their receipts in the form of depreciation provisions. Very, very important. A firm is using 1 crore rupees machinery. Okay. They know that they will be needing the money in the future. So they will keep some amount as provision for buying a new machine, let's say after 5 years. If after 5 years again they need to spend 1 crore rupees, so every year 20 lakh rupees they are saving in a separate fund. So this is called depreciation or provisions or undistributed profits. So everything is not going back to the household. So these money which are being saved in the name of depreciation or undistributed profit, they would be used for investment in the future. So now we need to illustrate the savings and investment. Who are doing the savings? The household is doing the saving. Who will be doing the investment? The firm will be doing the investment. So now in the circular flow, we need to show this. So how are you going to show this? So we need to keep our analysis simple. What we assume is that all savings are done by the households. Okay. And when they are into the saving mode, one question, will it reduce their consumption expenditure? Of course. Since let's say last year I was not in the savings mood. So I was spending 10 lakh rupees per year. That was my consumption. This year I am in the saving mode. So of course if I want to save 2 lakhs, I will spend only 8 lakh rupees. So it of course reduces my consumption expenditure from 10 lakhs to 8 lakhs, and thus the level of circular flow of income. So last year the circular flow, let's say it was of 10 lakh rupees. This year, since I have reduced my expenditure, the circular flow will definitely get reduced. Households receive income from firms and pass back only a part of it through consumption expenditure. Since a part of the income is saved, I think it is very clear. Saving thus represent a sort of withdrawal. Now these are technical word. When the households are saving, what exactly is happening? Basically, it was last year they were not saving. So the circular flow was of 10 lakhs. This year they are saving. Now the circular flow is of 8 lakhs. So basically there is a reduction, or we can use a more technical word, withdrawal of 2 lakhs from the circular flow, or we can say that there is a leakage. Okay. So we can use withdrawal or leakage of expenditure from the circular flow of income. See, it is very easy to understand. Just these technical words, when you will be questioned in the examination hall, you should know it, and so that you can write it in a very easy language. So leakage of expenditure from the circular flow of income between households and firms. So withdrawal or leakage. What exactly is the withdrawal or leakage? It is equal to the savings. Last year there was no saving, so the circular flow of income was of 10 lakhs. This year I want to save 2 lakhs. So this 2 lakhs can be used as savings, or we can call it as withdrawal, or we can call it as leakage. So withdrawal or leakage is the amount of money which was withdrawn from the flow of income. These lines you need to write like this. It is not passed on to the circular flow of income. Of course it is not passed because it is saved, and therefore it is not available for expenditure. I don't want to spend my 10 lakhs. I don't want to do the expenditure of 10 lakhs. I am withdrawing 2 lakhs. So basically it is a leakage of 2 lakhs from the circular flow. So leakages reduce the flow of income in the economy. So economy is shrinking. We want the economy to expand. Everybody should keep on spending more and more and more and more. But only spending more and more, will the economy expand? No, you need to have certain savings. Those savings are also channelized in the economy via investments. So savings may be used for undertaking investment expenditure. So savings are important. Investment refers to expenditure on producer goods. Darlings, please make sure when we are talking of investment, we are talking about, let's say in the accountancy, there is something which we take it in profit and loss. The expenses for 1 year or less goes to profit and loss. Expenditure which will help you for many years, they are in the assets. Similarly, when we talk about investment, so we generally refer to expenditure on producer goods. They will last longer, which help in producing other goods in the production process. So the money saved will definitely be used in investment. So expenditures on plant, machinery are examples of investment expenditure. If you do not have the savings, how will you invest? You are saving money to buy a motorcycle. So that savings went into investment of motorcycle. So these capital goods. So motorcycle is a capital good which lasts for more than 1 year, which helps in production, which helps in efficiency, that is capital goods. So these capital goods are not purchased by consumers, rather they are purchased by the firms only in an economy. Now, both consumer goods and capital goods are produced. In our simplified model, we have so far taken production of consumer goods only. So we are discussing only consumer goods. Now we expand our model to incorporate capital goods. So firms produce two types of goods. The first type of good are consumer goods, which are sold by the firm to the household. The second type of good are capital goods or investment goods, which are sold by the firms that produce them to other firms that use them. Like ice cream is a consumer good, but ice cream machine is a producer good. So if I am making ice cream machine, I am selling that machine to other people who are manufacturing ice cream. Okay. So now consider the effect of investment. Investment expenditure creates income for firms that produce capital goods. And for the factors used in production of these goods, this income does not arise from expenditure of households. So basically, investment of the households, how it comes to the firms. Rather, it is over and above the income that arises from the household's expenditure. So, investment expenditure that results in addition to the circular flow of income. As a result, the level of income rises. So, basically, investment expenditure. So, investment expenditure, how does this investment get into the circular flow? So, investment expenditure is an injection into the circular flow of income. So, whatever basically was invested, basically was saved by the households, it indirectly, household saves the money, they give it to the bank. So, bank give it to the firms. So, that money which was saved by the households, they are injected in the flow of income. Okay. So, the injection is the amount of money which is added to the flow of income. It is an exogenous addition to the income of the firms or households. Injections increase the flow of income in an economy. So basically, when you are saving, ultimately that saving will get injected in the economy. So earlier, when we were not saving, 100% was coming in the economy in the circular flow. We were assuming that the households were purchasing 100% consumer goods. But here, now the producer goods are also coming into action. The savings is getting injected in the circular flow. So how do firms obtain the required funds for undertaking investment? So basically, firms, they need some money. The additional investment done by the firm. So how do they obtain that required fund? How? The firm may use part of their profits. Remember, the firms are also not putting in 100% in the circular flow. So they were also keeping some profits. That profits, the undistributed profits, that can be used. Or we may assume that firms do not retain anything as undistributed profit, since the entire income is distributed among household as factor incomes. So we can assume both. But they are doing that, this implies that investment undertaken by firm is financed through savings of the households. To some extent, the firm may borrow directly from the household. However, households and firms interact with each other largely through financial institutions. There is generally no direct borrowing uh, between the firm and the household. For that, we have a capital market. We have a market like banks. We have market like insurance company, mutual fund, etc. So financial institutions, they become the intermediary between the savers and the investors, or lenders and borrowers. So in our simplified model, we assume that whatever is saved by the household, please make sure, is deposited with the financial institution, that is the capital market, and the firms take loans from these financial institutions to undertake investment. Households are not lenders, please, dear friends. Households are not lenders. Household, they save their part of the income. Firm are the net borrowers since they borrow funds to undertake investment. Thus, savings of the household sector flow to the firms for undertaking investment through the medium of capital market. Since they were saving, the saving of the household went to the capital market, and the capital market gave that saving to the business firms. Circular flow of income in a two sector model incorporating saving and investment is illustrated in figure 2. So, figure 2, dear students, just one additional thing is done. Household gives their savings to capital market, and capital market gives that money to the firm. So it is important to note that there would be equilibrium in the circular flow of income if the investment expenditure by the firm is equal to the savings of the household. So if we want to maintain the equilibrium, so this equation should hold true. So saving, we have already discussed that saving is a leakage from the circular flow. So what was the leakage? If that leakage, when I am using the word saving, earlier the circular flow was of 10 lakhs. Now I am saving, now it is of 8 lakhs. So 2 lakh rupees is the withdrawal. But you have withdrawn from the expenditure, but this saving you gave it to a capital market or a bank. And this 2 lakh you gave to the bank, and the bank gave to the business firm. So ultimately again it is 10 lakh rupees. Earlier the household was giving to the firm, now household is giving to the bank, and the bank is giving to the household. So saving is the leakage from the circular flow of income, as a result of which the level of circular flow of income falls. Due to leakage from 10 lakh it fell to 8 lakhs. Equality between saving and investment, S is equal to I, means that contraction of the level of income resulting from saving is equal to the expansion of level of income resulting from the act of investment. So similarly, now that 2 lakh which was saving, it comes as an investment from the capital markets. So hence equilibrium condition of the circular flow of income in a two sector model is when saving is equal to investment. However, investment is undertaken by the firms while savings are done largely by the households. So I think this is very technical, and you should have definitely understood this. So should we stop here for the day? I think we should. Next day we continue three sector model of circular flow of income model with government sector. So shouldn't be difficulty at all. I think you should just go through the diagram. Once you go through the diagram, things will become very easy. And then there is one more diagram, the circular flow of income and expenditure in a four sector model. So three sector and four sector we will be doing. By that time you can just go through the diagram. So I'm very sure if you understood these, what we discussed today, it won't be any difficulty in understanding things in the future when we study three sector and four sector. I really enjoyed explaining. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much. Tata, bye bye.